Oh, yeah. It's the show that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. So we'll go on. Usual suspects up in a piece already. Fireworks, Jason, you damn thief, Trent, Jeff, L, and B. Rose, Bay. First things first, you, the people. Because remember, this ain't fucking madness, baby. Damn right, fastest freaking show in MLB absolutely anywhere with your boy. Welcome to Corked Stats, yo. Follow me up on Twitter at John the Gazer. Flow sharper than a razor. Same handle over on Substack. There's fucking pin posts and free samples. Just go check it out. Audio people, give the video stuff a looky-loo. And maybe the thing to push you over the edge. Don't be a cheap bitch your whole life. Support good people, doing good work. We are keeping it cheap as can be. And burning the candle on both ends, MLB and NFL stuff, hot and heavy. I've got the football stuff rock and roll, and I'm doing drafts when I'm not doing this shit. Yesterday was kind of funny. It was very, like a young man in for a quickie. I'm so unsatisfied. I think we profited like fucking $3 yesterday. Woohoo! Started out great. The Phillies not under was a winner. Duran came right out and got his hit and run ribby in the fucking first. Blade got an early single. Acuna gets an early single. The team total stuff was off to a great start, right? Braves got there, Boston got there, and then just everything hit the fucking brakes. And you know what? We paid the price of parlaying. That's the case sometimes. We had the 3-leg, 4-run team total going on. Reds didn't get there. As I was looking back, I was thinking, why didn't I play the fucking Dodgers? And that was probably a mistake by me, you know? Reds didn't get there, Blade didn't get there, and if there's one thing more frustrating on earth than needing a hit-run ribby from a guy, him being up, with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, and you're like, please, just fucking knock him in. He didn't get there. Acuna got his hit, double stole, didn't score, didn't get there. Ohtani did on the other end, right? So that's what I wanted to bring up, and that's, par for the course sometimes with parlaying. We had 3 team totals, got 2 of 3, womp womp, and we had 2 sets of hit and run ribby pairs. We hit 2 of the 4, but went home fucking empty-handed, yo. What can you do? Life in a big city. We are up on the season, though it's marginal. Though, right? If you've been following through the combines, we're doing pretty damn good. That last combine was a monster, and yesterday was almost one. I've been feeling really confident, meaning like the losing days, right, since the final adjustments when we went live, the losing days were all really close. There are going to be days when you lose. But we've been in there, like fucking swimwear every fucking play. So let's do the damn thing. There are 9 games. I think they're split 4 and 5. So without any further ado, best part of waking up. Nothing worse than realizing that you fucked up. Just give me 1 second. Let me add the moneyline prices to the sheet really quick. That's always, I need it. It's kind of my launching point. And I find it helpful when I do the reads on my own. Okay, so we're going to skip the first 4. Looks like we're starting, geez Louise, afternoon, maybe the Toronto game. Sorry, I'm a little behind the 8 ball. I fucked my back up and I'm dying right now. Fucking dying right now. Okay, that's where we're going to start. Toronto and Atlanta. And away we go. Toronto with a bullpen game. They're very heavy dogs down against Chris Sale at home, minus 200 for the Bravos. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I read Toronto was going to go with Mason Fluharty, but he's a very strict reliever. And again, it's just a bullpen game while they figure out what it is. This feels like the sacrificial lamb, if anything. Chris Sale, oh man, was he a correct answer this year for fantasy? Oh yeah. I was going back on my guys thing. I've been getting a lot of the feedback for fantasy starting to roll in. So I went to go check it out. Oh man, number 1 was Chris Sale. Number 2 was Yuri Hurt. Number 3 was Mizurowski, right? Those are our 3 guys. So if you overloaded on, the my guys on the pitching side, you're fucking kicking ass taking names right now. We're all out of fucking names. Chris Sale doing the thing. 201 ERA, .94 whip. I mean, he is humming, right? 30K to just over 6 walk, 14 swing and strike, 32 ball, plus the 38 chase, winning in the zone. I mean, he's been incredible. Plus sub 1, home 9. All the split stuff is ridiculous. Max 222, BA split, max 591, OPS split. I mean, really hard to find a weakness in the game. No one's been better at the crib, right? Pull up the sales house. The lawn is mowed. The garbage is out. Flowers looking good. No fucking footprints in the grass, man. My boy doing just work at the crib. He's been so good. Like the ace of aces. So you look at Toronto versus lefties last 30 days. Just about 250 plate appearances, but it's pure filth. Unadulterated filth. Children, avert your eyes. 186 batting average, 266 OBP. I mean, that fucking dog don't hunt, bro. Yeah, no shit. 576 OPS, way too many ground balls, and a 282 X-Woba. Toronto's lucky to fucking imply right now. They're lucky to imply 3.5 runs coming off the bus versus an average lefty. Forget, Sale. So this one should be a smash. Braves versus righties last 2 weeks is good, but not great. I guess the Braves, that's been the story of the season this year. They've been a little bit inconsistent. And you even really see that in the L7 also, Lots of swing and miss. They've been really aggressive. I kind of like the Braves aggressive, but we don't love the chasing, losing in zone. And the lack of pull is a little bit worrisome, though, if anything. To be producing like this on a, bottom 8 BABIP, probably pretty encouraging. Braves bullpen's been really great all season. Toronto, they're okay when they're rested, I guess. I don't really buy into it. So we've got, Braves by a mile. Anytime, this is a little good lesson on reading this thing, by the way. And it's just from years of signals and stuff. Anytime you're looking at the difference and you're at a full run, right? Meaning where you're averaging more than the run on the mean, is when you start looking at the run line, right? You check out the price, which, by the way, is plus 105, which we like. 2 reasons, right? We like the plus money. I also like the 105-cent offer from the money line. So Braves money run line is in effect. If you can tell me, if you're actually watching me, I'm a fucking disaster. I'm a disaster right now. Like knocking the headphones out of my ear, and I'm doing fucking all the wrong shit. My God. Oh yeah. Well, pimping ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? So this one should be pretty straightforward. Braves got there with the scoring. Acuna let us down, but I think he's a pop. Also today, I had Michael Harris ringing for the hit run ribby. The number 2 spot in that offense is a really great spot because, leading off, very much slanted towards run scoring more than ribs. That number 2 hole really benefits you, especially with a guy like Acuna that could, lead off double. Now all you need is a seeing eye ground ball single from Harris. A lot of success with these. So I'm going to keep chugging along. Give me the Braves to kick some arse today. Next up, Seth Lugo on the bump for the Royals with cheese. They're on the road against Andrew Morris, who's also just a reliever. I was just looking at this a little bit ago. I don't think he's gone more than an inning or so all season. He just went 2/3, 1 1/3. You see, this is like a legit reliever. After that, where are they going? I'm not sure. I got Mike Paredes. He's done some long relief work for the Twinks so far. 25-year-old righty. We've only gotten a couple innings from him so far. And it wasn't a bulk kind of follow role. He was okay, but he walked 3 batters in 2 1/3. Twins bullpen wasn't good in the first place. I don't know where they find all these innings. Let's say Morris is okay and Paredes is okay for his 3. You still got to account for 5 innings back there that I'm not really buying it. Let's take a look at Lugo, 355 ERA and a 135 whip. The ERA definitely outkicking the 135 coverage. Expected ERA getting up near 5, which is a bit of a surprise. Sierra and Claude a lot closer to 4. You know, you're not going to get the swings and the misses from Lugo. I think we expect that. Though this feels like the worst iteration of anything we've seen from him in a long time. I want to get under the hood just really quick. Sometimes not to be overly reductive, but in like the binary world of, is Seth Lugo a good pitcher, yes or no? My answer is like yes. You know, I tend to like Lugo maybe more on a real life end, but this is betting, which is that. Weird that so all these barrels, I mean, they haven't turned into home runs, but still, like, there's way more pulled fly balls and line drives than we're expecting. Lefties have really had his number. Though, yeah, that's the wrong fucking reference. It's, man, I was trying to throw back to some of those older references, like the At the Crib reference from before. But it's, what a rush, right? My man's a fucking road warrior, 270 road ERA. Not to say I've been trying to make excuses for Lugo, but this feels wrong to me. The Twins are not good. This line is not heavy enough. My gosh, if you look, you want your fucking eyes to go crossed. Go look at Seth Lugo's fucking pitch mix chart. Holy crap, yo. Again, I've been talking about doing this pitching analysis tutorial. I wouldn't know what to make of this. Honestly, it's just crazy. Each of the last 4 years, he's had 4 totally different mixes. He's thrown 10 total pitches. And they all come in crazy combinations. I mean, really like, this is like really wild shit. Like you Darvish vibes. Now, Lugo is one of the guys I think can actually pull it off. And even though we kid about the Darvish stuff, you like, you know, kind of wily, veteran-type pitchers with command and control that have a deep arsenal. Because your hope, right, the hope is, if A is not working, you go to B and all the way down the line. The sinker up front is just not working. I'd like to see him get away from that. A lot of this, though, I got to admit, I feel like maybe he's been a little bit unlucky on the four-seamer. Actually, maybe a little bit fortunate on the breaking stuff. Not a lot of whiffs anywhere. Man, I don't know. I'm actually curious in that, like, I was mentioning the Arsenals and how wild they've been. So remember, you could look at Arsenals in terms of year over year, but also guys like this are moving around constantly. That's been the case this year also. I mean, again, he's thrown 9 different pitches this season. In every iteration you could think of, in fact. Four-seam, curve, sinker, cutter. Okay, so 4 pitches, though, have led the arsenal. So, you know, Lugo is going in the bag. I don't know if that's getting me any closer to the answer I'm looking for. Because the Royals' offense has been kind of ass last 2 weeks. I feel like they have hit a little bit recently. The L7 is starting to shake a little bit. So if you're believing in the talent on the Royals, I think they're showing you some of the signs that we're looking for in improvements. Right? And this part is not making excuses. Winning in zone, not swing and miss, cutting the chases, taking walks, while hitting the ball hard and elevating, getting barrels. I'm getting back on the Royals offense in this short term because I'm not really buying the Twins. You know, everybody is going to score sometimes. The Royals bullpen is an absolute nightmare. But man, hard to have faith in the Twins almost no matter what. Let me just check the Royals F5. You know what? You're not getting punished for the F5. Meaning generally in these prices, if Lugo were minus 115 for the full game, he'd be minus 132 or minus 135 for the half game. He's not. I've been trying to make it a point of not backing this damn Royals bullpen. So if we're looking to jump on the pen at all, I guess give me the Royals F5 minus 115. Again, that one just feels like a little bit of a misprice. Next up, my boy JT Ginn on the bump. This is going to be a nightmare. He's on the road for the Athletics as a 113 dog against most honorable Shota Imanaga. For the Baby Bears, they're minus 135 at the crib. If you're following the work at all, we've been really into Ginn. And I mean, Imanaga has been excellent also. However, and this is where I have to diverge a little bit. One, the damn weather. I didn't think, let me bring it up so I can be exact. I didn't think of the reading as the most bullish signal. Now, it's actually gotten a little bit stronger. Meaning, when I looked yesterday, and these lines were up last night, I had wind out 9 miles an hour Wrigley. That number was at 9 or 9.5. The winds now moved to like 11 or 12. But the total now moved to 10. I think, where have I gotten in trouble this year so far? This is something that happened last year also. Over accounting for environments that are not necessarily playing up. That happened yesterday with the Reds, right? Playing in Great American Small Park, it drags numbers, And the win totals for these fucking games, I hate adjusting the model. I think that you have to. But I also think adjusting universally for the wind is a mistake. What do I mean? Let's take a look. Listen, we've loved Ginn with good reason. 287, 114 ERA whip combo. My boy's shoving. The command and the control leaving a little bit to be desired, but everything else is really great, right? Getting the strikeouts where he needs to, getting the called stuff over, suppressing hard contact, controlling the lower third, lots of weak ground balls. He's been really damn good. And of course, this guy's pitching in a pinball machine. So the fact that he even has a sub-4 ERA at home, but it's a 2.08 ERA on the road, 148 last 30 with a 102 whip. So Ginn, actually hashtag good at baseball. We're going to be looking at him all season as a dog and for these unders. The wind is an issue, going under with the 10s, depends who you ask. Some people would say, I don't want to challenge that wind, everything goes out. Maybe you're right. Part of me says, fuck that. You're over accounting for this shit. I want to challenge you. The reason why I'm having trouble with the under is also why I like the A's. Shota is awesome, right? Let's not fucking mince words here. Strikeouts, control, chases, everything. However, the four-seamer is an issue. This is something, right? I'm not picking on him, something we talk about all the time. When you see the usage north of 40, which he has, with velo down below 93, which he has, and a stuff plus below 100, which he has, this is an issue in these wind games because Shota is constantly trying to beat guys up. You see that 46 pole, 48 hard hit, 11 barrel, which is why he has the 13 homers. And I think he's just in the worst spot for this. Now, Shota's home ERA is actually the worst. I was going to say don't overreact if it's not, or underreact, whatever. Because it's not like Wrigley is always this type of park. It's just, it's susceptible to wind, and they get a lot of it. So a guy like Shota, I think, is the type of pitcher to get punished. Books couldn't help but make him a favorite. But I think that minus 135 is a little bit of a clue, into the mind into my crazy mind. Now, we've been backing the Cubs offense last 14. They've been okay, good but not great. It's a total lack of extra base hits. There's been no slug. They're getting on with good discipline. They've been a little bit passive all year, but at least they're hitting the ball hard, and that'll play. Again, they're not bad. I was saying that when they were not performing at all. Just out of curiosity, L7, yeah, it's weak. Again, the lack of power is going to catch up to you. They're not really stealing bases. All the stuff we talk about all the time. Hey, maybe we're good at this stuff. Yeah, just maybe. Flip side versus lefties. A's last 30. A little bit of a worry, but they are getting the power in the home runs, the barrels that I think we're looking for. Right? This is also not a great matchup for Shota, though they've been chasing and striking out. I think you get them both. And I was talking to myself in my own head. meaning Shota's strikeouts are probably good. I wonder what they are out of curiosity. I'm going out of my comfort zone here. He's at over 6.5 even money, a little bit high for me. Do you think you could spike that ball? Oh no, I'd have to be pretty high. I bet you would, Panama Red. Yeah, I think the A's get it done. I've got Rooker for a home run. Though, if I had to pick one player for the hit run ribby, it's Langolier. And I was spent like 20 minutes this morning with this stupid look on my face. You know this one? Yeah, like going, what do I tell somebody if they ask me how to handle the home run emoji in terms of hit and run ribby? And I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. They're not the same, though there is some obvious overlap, right? If you were to draw a circle for hit run ribby analysis and draw a circle for home run analysis, they're not completely independent. There is overlap. I think I worry about how much. Again, when you're looking, guys that can homer, a lot of times they strike out, which is a death knell for hit and run ribby, right? That is the complete opposite, where you're looking for contact on base plus the speed to steal and lineup placement. Rooker could get us a barrel that doesn't do much else, and he's striking out like crazy. So I think I'd want to treat them independently. And then I thought what I'd probably do if I liked him for both is just put both emojis, right? So as I vocalize it, that's why I talk so damn much. Sometimes you got to say it and hear it and go, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. So if you see that, that's the move. So I'm not going to be pushing Rooker for the hit and run rib in case Langoliers, who I do like, comes up. Same kind of spot, but a little more contact and discipline, plus on base. Remember, walks, unlike total bases and home runs, walks don't kill you. Walk the guy behind you, dongs, you check the fucking box. So, trying to keep the mind open again. I've just got the A's to win this one. Was kind of hoping for a little bit better of a price, and I'm not in love with the bullpen. I think the Cubs have us if it's tied after 5. You're actually getting better price on the F5, and so that's where I'm going. Give me Jin and the plus 108 little wham bam, thank you ma'am, F5 action. Next up, Jared Jones on the bump for the Buccos. He's minus 110 both ways against the Astros and Kiwi Tang, who I've been really high on. I've been like adding him in all my fantasy leagues. Comments piling up. Adam Westbury, what's going on? Jam Dam, Shilan. Couple of the new usual suspects. Appreciate you all. Yeah, Adam agreeing with me. A Monica fly ball pitcher and a heavy win. Give me the A's and 3 home runs. Yeah, word. You know what's funny? That's a bet also, isn't it? Like total team home runs. Again, we like to try and pick who we think it's going to be, but we never actually do. Carolina Daddy says Cubs are complete ass. Yeah, I hear that. Jared Jones is filthy. And we don't want to be overreacting to the spreadsheet stuff when we bring it up. Right now, my God, Jared Jones has a 10-4 ERA and a 2 whip. Like, that's legit the most stupidest way to analyze that game. The velo was awesome. He got tons of swings and miss. 20% swing strike, 31 ball, 45 chase. These are the inputs you're looking for. Jared Jones is a fucking GOAT. He's going to be like A-okay, right? A-okay. In fact, today is the day you send out your trade offers. I don't know, man. Jones looked kind of sketch. He looked kind of hairy, a little sus out there. Meanwhile, Tang is shoving. He's the newest or most recent, I should say, of the Astros reclamation projects. 257 ERA, 110 whip, all the goodies that we love. Again, the control is a little bit whack, though if he can keep up a 37 ball, you're not going to end up with an 11.5 walk. I think that's a little out of place. He's benefited from a little bit of fortune on the BABIP, but I feel like he's got it back in the anus with a 13 homer fly ball. For a guy that has a pretty good elevation profile, doesn't get barreled often, I'm not expecting home runs from Tang. Yeah, he's just been good. A lot to like there. Pirates probably have the offensive edge. Again, that offense has been really good. They do strike out quite a bit against righties. We're going to need Tang to work a little bit of magic. I still think this one feels like an under to me. I think I was surprised to see the numbers, the totals. Felt a smidge high, though, I haven't checked again. And now that I'm looking, they're still 8.5, 4.5, full game F5 respectively. But the price is starting to move. Let's do our favorite lesson. I tell myself all the time, I'm gonna clip this and make it a YouTube short and help my fucking own cause. And there just aren't enough hours in the day. Betting, of course, is a lot like trading. That was my background beforehand. And I never really understood the incredible amount of overlap. Like, they really are very, very, very similar. And in fact, a lot of sports bettors could probably benefit from some trading classes and stuff. Yeah, theories and exits when I talk about trailing and stuff, and that's what I wanted to mention really quickly. Reading the tape and using volume as a leading indicator of a price change. So basically, totals are a really interesting market. They're incredibly variant, and no one knows the answer. And in case you're wondering how I know, that's why they're always 110. You know what I mean? They're fucking 110 both ways, because nobody knows. And when the market starts to move, right, what happens? Before an 8.5 becomes an 8 or a 9, right, before the actual total moves, that minus 110 that I led off with is going to shift first. The direction of that move, right, is the leading indicator. So when you see the 8.5, you want to go under, and it's starting to get towards minus 120. Let me ask you this. On a baseline bet, forget all totals, because not everyone offers them. You ever seen a minus 150? No. Why? Because it's the number that moves once the price gets there, right? So you kind of think of it having like a tipping point. As people pile on, it starts to tip a little bit. That's your price. It was minus 110, minus 112, minus 115, minus 118, minus 120. The thing fucking tumbles. The 8.5 becomes a 9, resets at minus 110. So the fact we were on the under 4.5, though I don't wonder if anyone else is thinking this, we've gotten smoked on a bunch of F5 unders lately, which sucks because we're normally very good with them. But have you noticed? I think, okay, not all of them. There was one that spun out. There was a Boston game, the early game, the Connolly early game. And what did I get? But it was 4 out of 5 that we lost, that the under held the full game. And every time that happens, I just hear Kyle going. I'll be on with them tonight, midnight, Source Network, YouTube, actual legitimate, YouTube channel. Him being like, I told you, man. The blow-up inning that could spoil the F5, especially if you like the bullpens. So I guess that's the question. Now, the Astros bullpen had been a hard fade all year. They're starting to look good, and they got Hader back. He threw 17 pitches in the save. I don't know if they're ready to go back to him back-to-back. Something actually tells me they are, because he's such a fucking maniac that I don't think they would have brought him back unless he was ready. They haven't made the determination. 17 pitches is right on that line of like, not really a ton of work. If it was 25 or more, I'd be saying no. So again, I find myself on the damn fucking fence. I know I'm under. It's just which side. Jones is not really a distance guy. So I think, in his kind of second turn. And I want to check the Tang stuff. Orange Tang, baby. Yeah, right. He was getting stretched. That's why some of his numbers are a little fugazi. He went 5.65. I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to jump on the F5 under 4.5. Because I see a minus 118, and I think it's not long. This one's closing at 4 and 8. And that's another one of the wonders, that we do. thing that we do, yo. All right, enough of this shit. Justin Robleski on the bump for the Trolley Dodgers. They annihilated the Diamondbacks, and as I was watching my bets lose, I'm going, why did we fucking miss on the damn Dodgers? Ay, ay, ay. As far as the Arizona goes, so I had a little bit of a brain fart. It was Ketel Marte sat yesterday, listed as injured, though. Right, so it wasn't just like day off blank spot on all the roster trackers. It got marked as injured, and I wonder if he's out again today. Without Arizona, I can't get behind the offense. Okay, let's look at Robleski. Listen, he's obviously very good. 287 ERA, 101 whip. We got it. To me, he throws a bad four-seamer entirely too much. He doesn't get swings and misses. Yes, he controls his own, but he's always playing with fire working up. I mean, it's a lot of fly balls and a lot of hard-hit fly balls. He's been very lucky on a sub 5% homer to fly ball rate. Everybody seems to like Robleski more than I do. I think we jumped on him in one. And again, it's not like he's a gas can. I don't think he's terrible. I was going to say I don't think he should be like juiced to the balls. But minus 144, he's not. Almost starting to feel a little bit cheap, if you ask me. Nelson on the other side, 482 ERA with a 119 whip. The ERA is a little bit high for that whip, but the indicator's not really buying it. This is a guy who throws a good four-seamer entirely too often. Listen, he's sitting 96 with really great stuff plus, but 58% four-seamer is too much, especially with the Dodgers. You could see that reflected in the low CSW and the high zone contact. Hitters are waiting on it. 54 fly ball, 43 hard hit, 12 barrel is what? You in the back of the room, way too many fucking home runs, you know? So like, you got to worry about Nelson. He especially panics me at home where he has a 6 ERA. Now this one I was on the fence. I put a sun emoji on this game, then I took it down because I didn't have a key for it. But it's going to be 105 out there. I don't know if they're going open or close. I don't know if that's announced yet. But the ball freaking carries out in Arizona, and I'm worried not to do like the Boomer thing and say, oh, the line is fishy. But it looks like there's a lot of the same concerns that I have in the line making about the Dodgers and Robleski. I'm realizing now I forgot to do the 3.5. Oh, man, I'll lose. I'm really fucked up right now. Oh, I have that shit somewhere, you mother effer. What I wanted to look is I was curious if Arizona was coming in at 3.5, but in the same token, if we don't know about Marte's status, that would also be a little bit of a ding also. I don't fucking know, man. Son of a bitch. They make the shits hard to find. No, they're both at 4.5, by the way. So I think I'm out until I get more information. The total at 5 and 9.5, they're just so high. I don't see myself going to 10. It feels a little bit inflated. I was looking for the back door of the Arizona total. I also see a 3.5, but it's minus 150, and I don't know. Too many. There's nothing wrong with just leaving this one. I think that's what I'm leaving. I'm going to leave a fucking blank space. This feels like the trap, right? Oh, when all else fails, bet the fucking favorite. Oh, no way. Not a winning strategy, and also probably the most like novice default setting. You know, it's not to knock those people. If that's you, don't be insulted. That was me. You know, I'm not. Most of the mistakes I'm talking about, you not making are only because I've not only made them, but I've made them 100 fucking times. Okay. All right, let's shoot back to the front of the board. We're going to get out of here. We'll make this one a shorty today. Jason's up in there. Good to see you, Adonis. Good morning. Is the big show playing? I don't know. I assume so. Yeah, Adam says, I thought Marte was out for rest yesterday. Me too. But The lineup trackers, like the one on Fangraphs, is another one I have. They mark for injury, so there had to be. That means honestly that. Oh, you know what? Actually, if I click his name, I'll get a report. That usually tells me something came up in a presser, or there's some kind of note made. Yeah, nursing lower back and hamstring injuries. So they listed him hamstring day to day. So it's possible. Sam, what's going on? You morning cup of coffee? Let's go, baby.
Spartan! What is your profession?
Let's go. If that don't get you going, nothing will, baby. All right, let's do a quick parlay in the afternoon and we'll get the fuck out of here. I got shit to do, like lay on the fucking floor. My back is killing me. I have an athletic deadline tonight, and then I'll be on with Sauce. I'm fucking jacked up right now. Lucas Giolito going for the Pods, 157 dog against Zachy Wheeler and the Fighting Phils. Man, that was a nice hit yesterday, right? The Phillies and the under. You know, I'm kind of getting the same exact fucking vibes today. Though the Philly bullpen worrying me a touch. I don't love that 4. But that's kind of my play. Oh, look at that. So the totals on this actually moved against the model, which it happens. It just doesn't happen often. So when it happens, I'm normally paying attention. Because I scrape. So just so you know, I scrape live lines at night. When I do V1 of the model to look for any big inefficiencies, then I re-rack it in the morning. So yesterday, this was 8.5, 4.5, and I like this. I like the same exact play as yesterday. Same play. You can go Phillies under 8.5. That one's plus 150. Or, man, it might even be nicer on the F5. You can go Phillies under 4.5 is plus 170. I think I might like that one. Wheeler's been freaking awesome, right? I was trying not to do too many stats on these reads. Wheeler's been awesome, and Giolito's kind of been a bit of a disaster. But he's kept the ball in the yard. The Phillies aren't hitting for shit. Plus, Gio was just through 12 innings. He's still in, like, spring training mode here. Maybe second thought, we're better off going full game. In case Gio, like what I mentioned before, right? In case Gio gets touched. Again, the 4.5 still makes it tempting. Unless he gives up 4. And, all right, if it's 4-1, right? Gio gets his dick licked. And Wheeler goes up his 1. We get busted on the F5. But then the Padres bullpen, which is very good, kind of wins the day. So that's my move again. I like Philly ML plus FGU 8.5. And that was plus 150. If not, Philly's right on the border of looking for the cover. That number is at even money. Though you're looking for the cover at home, maybe assuming we're not going to get the 9th frame. And their offense is such ass right now. And the Padres bullpen's really damn good. So not to say they won't get there, right? Again, it could be that same. We mentioned this is like the Dodger narrative from the other day. They could kill you. They could still win that same 4-1. Right, 4-1 after 5. Philly scratch across one more, so do the Padres. Whatever. Phillies win 5-2, easily clear the under, easily clear the run line, and easily get the money line. 1,000 ways to skin a cat without scratching his asshole. Trevor Rogers going for Baltimore. He's right around even money on the road against Brian Bellissimo and Boston. Again, I forced. This was actually the game I was talking about with the win before that really threw me off. So I forced the win emoji here. Win's only blowing out 7. But I had to put it. Fenway can be sensitive. But I had to put it because the total's at 10.5. And it was the only. I'm already like a full run under. So we gotta be on, which is crazy, be under Rogers and Bayo. But 10.5 is fucking insane. The bullpens just aren't bad though. So, like, even if you hate Bayo, the Boston bullpen's been awesome. And even if you hate Rogers, which I'm not sure I do, let's take a look at Rogers really quick. We got a minute. And this is kind of one of the things that maybe matters this year, right? Rogers was so good last season that if we think we can catch him on an upswing, He's me a fucking dog, and Baltimore's hitting. That's what I'm saying. I want to bet on Baltimore here. I wanted the Baltimore F5. You can see the Rogers spreadsheet stuff is gross. The four-seamer is still good, maybe throwing it a bit too much. Getting ahead, getting chase is really good ball rate that hasn't reflected in the walk rate, but that should correct. I mean, he's been extremely unlucky. 58 left on base, 323 BABIP, double-digit homer fly ball. I mean, there's an easy just regression case for Rogers right off the rip. He's been so bad on the road and so bad last 30. It's all so hard to back. But again, BABIP and left on base rate, right? When you think about what they are, right? Mostly seeing eye ground balls with men on base. Not really the thing we should be afraid of going forward, right? Ask yourself that. Is that what you're afraid of? Not really. I mean, he did get through 6 versus Toronto, but gave up 4. 4 to Baltimore, 7 at Tampa, 6 to the Yankees. Fuck, man. Guy's given up at least 4 runs in, 6 of 7? Oh, so bad. How about under the hood? Again, everybody, if you're just popping in, we're taking a little bit of a mini deep dive on Trevor Rogers. Somebody I liked last year. Man, he was fucking shoving. And I thought back from his Miami days, as long as he was healthy, he'd be okay. Again, we'd like to see him throttle the four-seam use a little bit. The changeup is getting whiffs. The sweeper is getting whiffs. I'd like to see him throw that sweeper a little bit more. It's been effective against both-handed hitters. Between the four-seamer and the cutter, he's just getting fucking yoked. But something just seems a little bit fishy here. Yeah, weird. If you heat map his hits, there's a bunch out of the zone, especially on that sweeper. Like, if I showed you the heat map for the sweeper, you'd be like, yes. And if I showed you where the hits were, I don't know. I think I like Baltimore here. Because Bayo, I think, is the guy that's ass. And the Baltimore offense, I think, is the part that's really good here. Oh, man. So, again, I got Baltimore to fucking win F5. I also think this is a little outlandish, but I like that F5 with the under also, right? Baltimore F5 under 5.5. Like, that 5.5 is so fucking high, man. That's plus 274. I might even mix it with the Phillies mixed F5 also. I like both of these. So if you go Philly under, Baltimore under F5, you got a really nice looking plus 930. And, I feel pretty confident about that. The 5.5 gives us some room to have Rogers give up some runs. I think we'll get the Bayo and get the win. We have money line exposure, so if anything pushes, it still is alive. I'm leaning towards that. If anyone is into that sort of thing. All right, 2 more, 3 more. We get the fuck out of here. Slade Ciccone on the bump for the guards. They're on the road with the bullpen emoji, though it's not like a massive bullpen emoji. But I had to put it because Gaddis and Holderman probably unavailable. I know I have Heron there also. He's further back down the line. And I know it doesn't involve, what's his name? Cade Smith. But when, 2 of your top 3 or 4 or 3 of your top 5 maybe out, I just like to note it. Especially against a team like the Yankees that have a good offense, even without Aaron Judge. I thought Rodon was okay, but I still think we're in that kind of correction phase. I'm just not ready to pay the fucking gas here. To me, this one's like over or nothing. I think people are a little low on the Yankee offense without Judge. I don't think they're that bad. I think Ciccone might be due for a beatdown. And then if this is something we talk about a lot, too. This is where the bullpen emoji does come into play. Where coaches have to think long-term. We're getting ready to head into the weekend. Everybody's playing 3 in a row. So this is like a real thing on Thursday, which is an off day for a lot of teams. When you're not off on Thursday, and you have usage issues already, trust me, the kids would say trust. The manager has his eye on the bullpen. If they're even down 1, you're getting back end. 2, forget it, ass end. Because, you have to think of that term if you've ever played MLB The Show, like season series or whatever. Mode. you got to think long term. If you misuse an overworked bullpen in a bad spot, you could have that cascade and cost you multiple games. So I'm not saying Cleveland is sacrificing the game here. But it's the Yankees. And if they get ahead 3 or 4 on Ciccone, they're going to let it run. They don't give a fuck. You give it up. You reset, re-rack, and hope they go into the weekend strong. Rodon, I think, has his own worries also. Maybe Cleveland gets to him. I'm not sure if they even hit lefties. I'm not sure if they hit fucking anybody. Cleveland's actually hit lefties. So, yeah, I'd be leaning on the over. It's 8.5. I'd love to get a fucking 8. But it looks like 8.5. So I'm going to make that the show pick. Hold on. Let me just list the Baltimore thing. So the show pick for Baltimore, I think, is the win. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to win. I think people are crushing my guy, Rogers. You know what I mean? Whatever. Baltimore's got the bullpen. That 5 stuff's a little frustrating. I don't know. It's frustrating. I'm going to have to meditate on that last one.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Frustrating. It's frustrating.
But, yeah, Cleveland and the Yankees is an over or nothing for me. I think if you're paying juice for Rodon in this spot, I think you need to have your fucking head examined. You know, we're not there yet. And the Yankees missing Judge. Like, you're paying every bit for this. I'd love to pivot to Cleveland. But again, the bullpen stuff bothers me. If you wanted to tell me a tale of like a Cleveland F5 because you get the half run with even money, I'll buy that. I will. But I think the Yankees are in a good spot. Ciccone has brutal lefty splits, and they're going to force feed Grisham and fucking Rice and Bellinger. You're going to get a lot of that. So I kind of like the Yankees. Last but not least, yeah, it's easy chalk. Adrian Hauser on the bump for the Giants, who sucks, even though they're hitting against Coleman Crow, who I kind of like, and the Brewers. That offense is a little sketchy, but I think everyone is getting to Hauser. He's throwing batting practice. If you bet the F5 Philly stuff, then I think you can make this your early donkey pair. Like, I might rock this as an early pair today. Phillies plus Brewers is plus 125. You know, I think the Brewers have them every way. Bullpen, offense, pitching. Let's get out of here, yo. Appreciate everybody for watching the show. Press the like button. Matters way more than it should. Our average watch times on these recent shows are fucking insane. Insane. And that's what I've been trying to build is yes, I want this show to be huge and like monetized. Yes, that'd be great. But for me, old and just understanding of the way things work, build it right. Build the foundation right. You know, use the right material. I could tell I was a construction worker back in the day. Local 3, New York City's brightest. Shout them out. Use the right material. Use a good foundation. You know, measure twice. You cut it once. But like we mentioned yesterday, work extremely hard, but make sure to take breaks. Also, be very serious at work, but have fun. All of these things matter, the fucking balance, yo. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Adam in Carolina, Ezan, good to see you. Appreciate you. Wouldn't have been a show without you, my man. And trust me, I see those comments every single day after the show. They really matter. Like, comments after the shit help to reboost the program into the recommendations. Sam, liking today's bomb. That was Brenton Rooker, by the way. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. He's got all the air pull. Amon got up with the bad four-seamer in the wind in Chicago. Yeah, I like that spot a lot, too. So that'll do it. Appreciate you all. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Remember, the football stuff is hot and heavy. There's a little description in the description. Oh. And same on Substack. You can check it out for free. There's screenshots of all the spreadsheets of exactly what to expect. Let me know if it's what you use. Let me know it's not all there. Let me know what you're looking for. That's part of why these sheets are so good. Sharp people say, ooh, I like this. They'll hit me up and say, but what about this stat? Do you think we can get that? If I have it, I fucking add it. You'll see it the next day. Right. And then, right, that person probably had something positive to add. They're getting their value added. They join. Everybody benefits, including me. I mean, it's the best. So I try and keep the door swinging both ways. Don't be afraid to hit me up. You're not a bother. If you're a paid sub, you're a fucking priority. So that'll do it. Just remember, when you work this fucking hard, every day, spin the Rolodex. Check it every fucking day. We bring the smoke, yo. The winning feels a lot less like luck. Bet your ass, yo. Peace out, everybody. See you tomorrow.